Welcome to the Penny Stock and Cryptocurrency Survival Guide. Before we get into the class itself, I want to give you a little bit of context. The class I put together several years ago, but the key thing here is that the class is about emotions and psychology. And with emotions and psychology, because we're human beings, they've always been around and they will always be around. So what you learn about has been valuable, still is valuable, and will be valuable in the future because we're humans. We're always going to have anger, greed, overconfidence, sorrow, freaking out. All those things have always been around and will always be around. And the key is when you understand those dynamics, as cruel and mean as it sounds, you can leverage those dynamics against other people. If you understand how other people are feeling, how other people are viewing different circumstances, then like I said, you can leverage that to put profit in your pocket. Yes, that sounds mean, but that's how the financial markets work. It's understanding how other people are feeling and believing and then using that to your advantage. The other note is that this course is based around penny stocks, but please realize this for you crypto traders. Anytime I say the word penny stock, you realize that you can and should replace that with a cryptocurrency. Anytime I'm talking about an exact penny stock, please realize you can and should insert in any sort of coin that you may be looking at, because the emotions and psychology is a perfect parallel between penny stocks and cryptocurrency markets. And it's a way that you need to go into surviving penny stock trading, crypto trading, or maybe you're going to do both. But you better understand how what I call the wilderness works, because if you can understand the wilderness, you're going to give yourself a way better opportunity to make money as a whole. So let's go to my desktop and let's get into the class.
Oh no, it's the bashers. The bashers are here. We gotta freak out. We gotta leave. We gotta sell our shares. No, that's what amateurs do. Yeah, bashers, they have a bad rep. Yeah, bashers can be a little bit scary, but you know what? We know what we're looking for. They don't like Kool-Aid, but sometimes, too bad, they get drowned in Kool-Aid because there's just so much Kool-Aid flowing around out there. So yeah, bashers aren't the most enjoyable thing in the world. We don't really like bashers, but I just always get a laugh when people just freak out when a basher shows up. And it's just kind of like, oh, okay, a basher here or there is not going to ruin anything. But nonetheless, let's talk about bashers and how this storm cloud can potentially alter and affect the penny stock wilderness. At this point in the course, we have now covered everything within the food stock pyramid. We know what this is over here. That is us. We're just quietly observing. Now we need to talk about the storm clouds, and that is the bashers. Again, nothing to freak out about, but certainly something that needs to be monitored. So let's hop in and talk about bashers. I've already pretty much been using the lingo anyways, but within the penny stock world and even, big board people, basher, they're somebody that, quite frankly, they just don't like the stock. They're not bullish on the stock. Now, why they are not bullish on the stock can derive from various motivations. It can be they just lost money on the stock. Now they're angry about it. For a lack of a better word, they're just straight up losers in real life. They're just pathetic individuals. They enjoy research and they are trying to fit the pieces together. One of the things especially when I first got started, I was nice, I was respectful about it. I'd be like, hey, why are you here just always beating down the stock? And they'd say, I just like to research. It's kind of like a crime novel, a mystery novel, and I just like to put the pieces together. And that's fine. I can buy that. I mean, some people, I have a hobby. I like to watch sports. I like to watch movies. That is my hobby. Other people's hobby, they like to do research. For me, that's definitely not my cup of tea, but we're all different. How boring would the world be if everybody was the same? So we all had different hobbies. So some of them just enjoy to do research. And then some have to do with shorting. So they want the price to go down, but I'm not going to focus on any of that. That's going to be addressed later on. Shorting, that gets way overblown. And it's just a scapegoat that the pumpers use. It's just a scapegoat that management uses, that promoters use to hide the fact that people are selling shares and that's why the price is going down. So yeah, that's a little bit pertains to it, but I'm not going to focus on it, and I'll explain later in a different video. Now, some bashers are traders, and others have just never made a trade in their lifetime. I've talked to some that they just like to research. They love digging in. They love to play the role of kind of Sherlock Holmes, and, fine. Just because they're doing research and bashing, yeah, when we want the Kool-Aid to be flowing, that's not the most beneficial thing, but, I'm never going to bash somebody for any sort of hobby that they have. I may not agree with the hobby or I may not find any interest in it, but that doesn't mean it's a stupid hobby or a wrong hobby. It's just we have a different, we just have different feels, different personalities. I can't think of the word I'm wanting for. We're just different. I guess that's the best way to put it. Okay, again, this is one of the most important slides in the entire course. Kool-Aid dilution. This is the dilution that we are concerned about, and this is the principle that most penny stock traders don't understand, and it's what makes them inexperienced. They're all about the share structure dilution. Who cares if the share structure is getting diluted? If there's enough belief there, then that's what we need to care about. But if the belief starts to get diluted, so if there's dilution of that Kool-Aid and that belief, that is what we need to monitor and be very cognizant of as bow hunters. So over the years, I've seen dozens and dozens of stocks that are diluted massively. There is just, the share structure is getting bigger and bigger and bloated, but yet at the same time, they keep on moving upwards. Let's think back to the promoters one. I talked about how I like to see promoters that take shares, and during their whole promotion, that float is getting bigger and bigger. Outstanding shares are getting bigger and bigger, but guess what? The price keeps on moving. Why? Because there's belief. And as long as there's belief, then who cares if there's dilution going on from the share structure? However, dilution of belief in Kool-Aid, that's a whole different ballgame. That's what we need to be worried about. Now, you may be saying, wait, what are you talking about? Dilution is bad. That's one of the main things I first came across on chat rooms and message boards and social media. People talking about dilution. I thought that is bad. It's bad, but not in the sense of creating just a bigger float. It's bad in the senses it gives bashers stuff to talk about. However, just because there's stuff to talk about, if belief is still bigger than reality, voila, there's our penny stock equation, then who really cares? The reason dilution affects the price is not because of the literal dilution. Again, I want to repeat that bullet point, and this is what I'm repeating right here. The reason dilution affects the price is not because of literal dilution. I've already talked about that. Lots of stocks I've seen, they get bloated and they become bloated pigs, but the price still goes on a massive and a very beneficial run. It's because it allows the bashers to dilute the Kool-Aid. Who cares about the share structure? Dilution, the literal dilution, does not affect anything. It's the dilution of the Kool-Aid because bashers now have something to talk about, which is what is harmful and what we need to watch and be watching for. When Kool-Aid becomes watered down, belief begins to waver. And when belief begins to waver, bye-bye belief, hello reality, see you later opportunity. So that's what we need to monitor. I'm a very visual person, so this is how I like to look at bashers than just Kool-Aid dilution in general. So each thing that the bashers can talk about represent one drop of water. So in this example, dilution. Dilution is a topic, that is one thing, so that would be one drop of water. The more drops of water you have, the more it's likely it's because of a storm, and the more the Kool-Aid is going to get diluted. If it sprinkles, one or two raindrops, whatever, the Kool-Aid is going to absorb that just fine. The price, the belief, all that stuff is going to be more than fine and move in our direction. However, the more and more stuff that starts to happen, it's going to start to bring the Kool-Aid gauge closer to zero. And remember, that's not good. We want people to be as near to 100 as possible, but the more water that shows up, that's going to dilute out the Kool-Aid, which is the belief, and that's not what we want. Now get ready to call me Captain Obvious. Water is bad for Kool-Aid. We've established that. And storm clouds bring what? Water. That's why they are the bashers. The bashers bring potential raindrips of water, and sometimes it's just a little sprinkle of water, and that's not going to hurt anything. However, the more stuff the bashers have to talk about, the more it will rain, and therefore the more the Kool-Aid gets diluted. So what are some, there's many more than this, but just what are some raindrops? What are some individual things that could start to give bashers talking points or give them stuff to talk about that would then, allow them to start to water down the Kool-Aid? First would be actual dilution. Hey, look, the share structure just increased. Uh-oh, that's a talking point. The threat of dilution. Hey, the company just increased its authorized shares. That's a talking point, therefore that's another drop of water. SEC filings, if they start digging through there, hey, look at this balance sheet, or look at all these notes that are due, look at all these debts. SEC filings, another talking point, something else that bashers can use, therefore more drops of water. And then just management background. Sometimes management has shady history. There's an example I'll show here in this presentation where somebody's talking about the CEO having filed for bankruptcy before. That's not always good to see, but all these things are just individual drops of water. However, if all this stuff starts to happen at once and you have all these talking points start to pop up, then that's when you know the rain is starting to pour. And in those instances, unless the Kool-Aid is super, super strong and the belief is super, super strong, that's where the Kool-Aid dilution happens. That's where the belief starts to drop, reality starts to set in, and that's when we know time to move on. You've seen this before, and what I've been touching on is that the Kool-Aid dilution, this causes Kool-Aid sobering. And we do not want people to sober up from their Kool-Aid. The more people sober, the more it brings the food source closer and closer over here to borderline. We do not want to see the needle moving in this direction. We want to see it stay as close to 100 as possible, but that's what Kool-Aid dilution does. It starts to bring the needle, bring the gauge back towards zero, and it starts to bring people towards borderline. When people start to question, what is up with this company? Why do they have so much debt? Is this product really that good? I guess they have a real product and it's in a couple stores, but that's a couple stores. I mean, what's that really going to do? When they start to question themselves and get back to the borderline area, that's not what we want. That's Kool-Aid dilution. That's what we need to be watching and keeping a close eye out for. I know I keep repeating that, but that is on purpose, and I do that because when I opened up the presentation, I was did my little comical freak out because a lot of people, they see a basher and they automatically think, uh-oh, things are crazy, things are done. No, things are not done. Do they need to be monitored? Yes, but just because bashers show up doesn't mean all hope is lost or anything like that. So let's talk about some basher classifications. There are three core types of bashers. The first is the bitter basher. The second is the no-life / tough guy basher. And then the third is the detective basher. There's a fourth type, and those bashers bash because they're short, but I've already talked about that. But these are the good types, and that may sound totally contradictory to what you've always thought or what your impression has been, but I will address this misconception later on in a different video. And then we have just the pumpers versus the bashers. Grab some popcorn. This is the classic battle. It plays out on CNBC and Bloomberg, when they have somebody that's bullish on the economy and somebody that's bearish. One guy thinks the economy is going to skyrocket. The other guy thinks it's going to tank. I mean, technically speaking, in this lingo, the one guy is a pumper, the one guy is the basher, and they just go right at it, and we just get to sit there and watch. In the world of penny stocks, same things happens, but it just takes place in our environments, which we now know are message boards, chat rooms, blogs, all that sort of stuff, social media. So it's same exact concept, but instead of talking about some macro event like, inflation is going to affect gold prices, which is going to affect oil, which is going to cause everybody it's none of that. It's just stupid things like, is this product real? And even if it is real, what does that really mean for the company? That's what people are going to be debating, and that is the classic pumper versus basher debate. Grab some popcorn, grab a drink. That's what it's all about. Bitter bashers. So these are the traders who are bitter at the company because these are just a couple of reasons. There could be many more. Management or IR lied to them. Remember back to that one picture where it was the lady staring at the phone giving the look like, what the heck? That's not what you told me. That person has a high probability of turning into a bitter basher. They were lied to, they were misled. They just were told what they wanted to hear. However, the CEO, remember where their loyalty lies, not with that person. They were just misled. And whether or not that's why they lost money on the stock, maybe they're just stupid and don't know how to trade and they lost money on the stock, but they lost money on the stock. So a couple reasons how people would become bitter. And these traders, their biggest weakness is they allow just too many emotions into their trading. My blog, Clay Trader, I'm all about no emotions, and these people, they just would not fit in because they're just way too emotional. They lose money and they don't want to look at themselves in the mirror. They'd rather blame other people. In this case, blame the company. Maybe it is the CEO. Maybe the CEO did lie to them, but shame on you for trusting a penny stock CEO and thinking that, just shame on you. That's all I'll say about that. They're not very professional. Instead of sell and move on, it's sell and cry. Professional traders that are here to truly trade and truly grow their portfolios, they're going to cut the losses, maybe admit, hey, you got me, you tricked me, good job on you, but I'm out of here. These people, they'll sell, and instead of move on, they just sell and cry like it's a little thing of spilled milk. And who knows, I just picture these people, they're probably wearing one of these as they sit there and just cry about it. Oh, you lied to me. I thought we had a relationship, Mr. Investor Relations person. You were so nice to me. I thought you were a sweet old man. And, they're just all bitter about it. And then most times they offer very little substance with their complaining. It's just complaining. It's kind of like the brother of the loudmouth pumper. They complain, just not very much substance with it. Now the good news is, and I'm trying not to laugh looking at that picture. I put together this presentation a few days ago, so I forgot I put that picture in there. It's kind of funny, but that's probably what they look like. Anyways, so due to the fact that there's very little substance, I'm sorry, and they look like this, good thing is that they don't have very much effect on the Kool-Aid because people just look at them and kind of laugh like I am right now. And I'm not that good of an actor. That's actually me laughing. That's a pretty funny picture. But that's what they look like. That's why they don't have much effect. Because people just look at them and it's obvious. Look, you're just crying over spilled milk. You're clearly just upset that you lost money in the trade. Sorry, but you need to just move on. And it's one of those things where, one exception could be if the company really screws people over and it creates a mass amount of bitter bashers. So if you have a bunch of these people running around, so if you have an army of these little babies running around, that's where it can actually start to affect the belief and dilute the Kool-Aid. However, one or two of these people, they're not going to affect anything. But it's one of those things where, if the company makes a huge screw up and it creates a whole batch of these at once, then that could be different. But most times it's just a few of them running around and it's very evident what their problem is. They're just upset because somebody spilled their milk. A lot of times they are just rookie traders, don't know how to trade, can't accept responsibility. Sometimes they have the ego problem, and they're like those investors. They just they can't be wrong. I know everything. They're upset. Maybe their quote unquote investment that they did all this research into that they were so proud of. Hey, I found the diamond in the rough. Well, when it turns out to not be a diamond in the rough, they're a little bit upset about it. They're not going to blame themselves, of course. Though they're just going to find other things to blame. So let's take a look at some bitter basher examples. So here we have one, and like I said, they're basically like the mirror image. They're like the evil twin of the loudmouth bashers. Not much substance. This stock sucks. Look at that, 3 exclamation marks. Okay, and you know what? They're right. I believe I mentioned this in the one of the previous videos. It wasn't this one, but I mentioned bashers are always going to be right. Now whether or not they're right, and then the stock keeps going up, who knows? But in the long term, all penny stocks are garbage. So yeah, they're all going to be right. So this stock sucks. Yeah, you're right. But are you right now? Who knows? I mean, if this stock goes up 400% or something, well then, yeah, the stock sucks from a fundamental standpoint. But as far as the belief in Kool-Aid is concerned, it's still got plenty in it. So yeah, these people are all right. But that's not why they're bashing. They're bashing because they are bitter. Just here's another one. This stock sucks. No substance, just a random comment, very easy to see what's going on. Just that little baby there crying over spilled milk. Okay, now we're getting a little bit more angry. These people are just not happy. This stock sucks in all caps, doesn't even move. Okay, it sounds like they're frustrated. My guess would be they bought in. It didn't move like they thought it would, and then they sold out for probably a loss, and now they're mad about it. Who knows? That's pure speculation, but these people are upset. Let's see. This stock sucks. If only the people who ran it knew it sucks and would make an attempt to make some kind of profit. Okay, we have a nice run-on sentence there, all caps, kind of hard to read. But yeah, this person is clearly angry at PPRW, and it looks like if only the people that ran it. So it looks like he's mad at the management team or somebody. Case in point, though, this person is angry. They are bitter, and they think the stock sucks, and they think that the people who run it sucks, apparently. All right, this person, and I should say it's not Love Your Neighbor. This is not the person that's saying it. This is, they're replying to something Love Your Neighbor said. I just want to make that. The person that's actually making the comment is up here and blotted out. But anyways, let's see. PTSH, this stock is a joke. Has always been a joke. They are nothing but scammers. Check the history of the stock, DBAC. Maybe that must be a previous ticker symbol that the management was over. You will see, beware. So this one has decent substance, I guess. So this is kind of like a borderline basher type, but at the same time, they're pretty much just crying about it. They're calling it a joke, always has been a joke. All right, nothing but scammers. Check the history. I know, okay, so where are your links? Just because you're telling us to check history doesn't mean really that much. So some kind of substance, but when you see other ones that we're talking about, you'll see the substance that I'm really talking about. So let's see. I try to warn all of you, this stock is a joke. Here we go again. CEO can't be trusted. OS, which means outstanding shares, has increased by almost 1 billion, and CEO tries to give valid excuse. Well, surprise, surprise, welcome to Pennyland. That's not too shocking. That's on MDIN. So, but just very bitter, not much substance. That one again has a little bit of substance, talking about some share structure, but whether or not that's true, I don't know. Just because they post that doesn't mean it's true. That's where the other type of bashers will come into play at. But just very, very vague, very just broad statements. They're just upset. They're just bitter. Just somebody give them a cookie. Now let's talk about the no life / tough guy. This takes no skill at all. All it really requires is that you have a sad life, or you have just no life at all, and basically you're a coward. That's what it boils down to. All they do is move around from stock to stock, stating the obvious. Well, it should be obvious to us now. To some people, it's not obvious. They go around and just call everything a piece of garbage, which it is. But the way they do it, they just rub salt in the wound. When people are losing money, yeah, people are going to lose money, and that's just how it is. But there's a big difference between knowing people are going to lose money and then trying to, there's a big difference between knowing they're going to lose money and then showing up and saying, "Ha, you lost money. Let me rub some salt in the wound." There's class, and then there's just people like this that literally look like, I'm pretty sure that a lot of them look like this. They sit at home, they're eating their Cheetos. That's, what are those even called? Anyways, they're Cheetos. They're just not a pretty picture, but that's the thing of the internet. Everybody's a tough guy when you're behind a computer screen, and it's easy to think people when they're down, and that's what they're doing. They just kick people when they're down. That's how they bash. And I love the way Willy Wonka sums it up over here. So you talk big on the internet. Tell me more what a tough guy, or tell me more about what a tough guy you are. That's, if you've ever seen that rendition of The Chocolate Factory, you can totally see him saying that, and it's so true. They're a lot like bitter bashers in the sense that they don't have any substance. Remember, they're not there to waste their own time, in the sense of they're not going to put together some well-structured post. They're just there to laugh, kick you when you're down. So, they're not going to waste too much time. They have other people to go and kick. So they're just throwing out, general observations. But the difference is their motivation. These people just have those pitiful lives. No other way to explain it. They have little effect on Kool-Aid dilution. A lot of times the bad has already happened, so that we as bow hunters are probably already out or getting ready to exit. So it's not like they are calling it the top or causing anything. They show up after the fact most of the times, and because their posts lack substance, it really gives no credibility. Think about it. For us, we know what they're doing, and we're like, oh yeah, that's true. That's right. We know it's. But if you just stepped into the penny stock market, people are going to say, why would I believe you? Where are the links at? Where's the proof? So just because of that, there's no substance. That to the food source people, they don't have any credibility. We know what they're doing. We know that what they're saying is technically true. We may not agree with their motivation and why they're doing it, but for the new people, they have no idea that it's true, especially when there's no substance given. Then it's really not true because, kind of show me the proof. So here's one. This person is just saying, I suspect the 8K will be the straw that breaks this camel's insanely overvalued back. I will return to say I told you so, if I am right. Good luck, people. Those of you who choose to throw money away, you can always make donation to worthy causes so your dollars will actually go to something worthy and worthwhile. Buyer beware. Now, I would agree with a lot of that. There are many other, when I got started, I could have used that money that I lost. I should have donated it somewhere, because what I did was just, pure stupidity. So, what they're saying, I agree with, and, the 8K, who knows if that's going to break the camel's back, but the part that just separates them is, I will return to say I told you so. However, I don't think they meant to say this, because this is just shows how much of a coward they really are. They just showed, this is the name of the game. This is what they do. If I am right. So, correct me if I'm wrong, but you're only going to come back and say, you told everybody so if you are right. What happens if you are wrong? You're not going to come back and man up and just admit you were wrong? No, these no-life bashers, tough guy bashers, they don't do that. So I know how to read the English language. I'm pretty sure that's what that's saying. So I don't think this person probably really meant. It must have been like a Freudian slip or something. But I will return to say I told you so if I am right. Which would imply that if they're wrong, they're not going to return us. I don't know. I'm probably thinking about it too hard, but I think this is a prime example of showing how not only are they just have pathetic lives, but they're just cowards by nature. They're going to talk all this trash. They're going to return and say, I told you so. In this case, they admit only if I'm right. If I'm wrong, I'm not going to come back here and fess up and man up. That's not my style. I'm only here to kick you when you're down and when I'm right. So here's another one, 0001. Wow. Hate to say, I told you so, but ... No, you don't hate to say it. You're just trying to rub salt in the wound, and you're here to just kick people when they're down and say, I told you so, because apparently in your real life you're not very important. So the only way you can feel important is to come on a message board, on the internet, hide behind a screen and say people, hey, look, I told you so, I was right. So, yeah, this person probably is pretty far down on the totem pole at work. If they even have a job, maybe they live in their mom's basement, I don't know, but it's just one of those things where if you have to come and get, justification for yourself at a, in penny stock message board on the internet and tell people you told them so when they're already suffering, then yeah, there's just things aren't adding up in that person's life. All right, here we have another one. You should have listened to me a long time ago. Welcome to the Bag Holder Club. Bag holder, that simply means you're going to be stuck there for a while and you're losing a lot of money. That's what a bag holder is, somebody losing money. Welcome to the Bag Holder Club. No chance to get out without taking a huge loss. And then gotta love the ticker symbol here. So again, just showing up. It's the same MO every time. This person clearly has a job where probably people don't listen to him. If I'm trying to play psychologist here, based on this, you should have listened to me. They probably have a job where they want to be listened to at work, but either nobody does listen to them because they're stupid, or they just don't have a job and they want to have a job where people listen to them. I don't know. I'm just guessing there, but just trying to kind of think about the psychology and emotion of things. Seems like this person struggles with needing the desire for people to listen to them. Let's see. This POS, which stands for piece of crap, but use the profanity there. So this POS will produce many bag holders. You were warned a while back. Don't be a deer in the headlights, LOL. So basically, yeah, they're right. People are probably going to become bag holders. I mean, it is a penny stock. But hey, you were warned, so they're kind of playing a tough guy. And this was a while back, so my guess is the price has dropped already from where they were alerted. But you get the idea here. They're I told you so. Hey, you were warned. You should have listened to me. It's all that kind of. It's just all those types of movements and the way they structure things. Looking at some more here. LOL. Bad day here. There will be many more. Well, thanks for pointing that out. I mean, talk about Captain Obvious and pointing out something that just rubs salt in the wound. I mean, that's just low class. That's just stupid. Let's see here. WFHC 0.08, it's been destroyed. Again, I'm sure the people that are in there know that it's been destroyed. You're not really saying anything new. And when you put the LOL on the end, which just in case you're not familiar, that stands for laughing out loud. So you're laughing that something's been destroyed and there's people that are losing money on it. I mean, just one of those people. I have fun living in your mom's basement. I don't know really what else to say there, but that's just pathetic. I mean, one of those things where I'd love to meet with one of these people and just be like, can I shadow you for the day just to see what your life is like? I mean, I'm not going to steal any of your Cheetos. I just want to watch you for the day. I promise not to steal anything like that. I'm not going to steal any of the meatloaf that your mom makes you, but I mean, can I just watch and see what kind of life you live? Because why people would get any pleasure off doing that, I have no idea. All right, now it's time to get our game faces on. These are the bashers. These are the real ones. And these people cannot be taken lightly. Now, they don't need to be feared, but we certainly need to respect them. So I know I've been kind of cracking a lot of jokes, but, these people, in all honesty, you got to watch out for them, and you just got to monitor them closely. So these people are the detective bashers. I call them that for a reason. This does take skill, and they need to understand how penny stock wilderness works and operates. So these people know what's up. They maybe not have taken this course, but they know exactly how penny stock wilderness operates. However, they're going to try to make everybody know about it. And they want people to see just how things operate and how it works. And that's they bring the goods. That's really the best way to put it. They bring the goods in terms of substance. There's going to be links. There's going to be experience in terms of their history. You can look at them and be like, oh yeah, they know how to look at stuff. When questioned, they're not going to run away. They're not cowards. they enjoy debating. A lot of these people, these are the people who have it as a hobby. They like to research, they like to debate. So if you ask them a question or try to rebut them, they're going to come back with a rebuttal, and they're going to go in the lawyer mode and come back and have links to back up anything that they're saying. They don't make baseless claims. They're not here to just because they're bitter or because they're a tough guy. They're here because they enjoy this sort of stuff, and they're going to bring the goods. So if you get in a debate with them, prepare to go. I hope you have some substance. But from a moral standpoint, these people, it's hard to argue against. However, no matter how many facts can slap somebody in the face, some people simply refuse to listen. That's why I say they need to be respected but not feared. Just because a detective basher shows up and starts throwing around a bunch of links and stuff, that doesn't mean that the belief is going to be destroyed. Because at times, remember Kool-Aid and where that all comes from. I mean, people drank it because they were so brainwashed that they drank it and died. Nothing to joke around about, but that just really shows that human emotions, when people believe in something, it's going to take a lot. And, one or two detective bashers showing up and throwing links around, that, yeah, it can have some Kool-Aid dilution, but when the belief is strong and it's moving like a tidal wave, still going to be minimal. So just because people don't want to listen, that's one reason why, sure, it's moral, but I don't feel bad. I guess this is kind of a thing where maybe I've been coming across as kind of, just unsympathetic. But at the same time, let detective bashers ease your mind that it's not like you're some cruel person in the world of penny stocks. Maybe, maybe you have no problem with that. You're just a ruthless hunter. Awesome. Good for you. But some people may be struggling like, man, maybe penny stocks just aren't for me. It sounds like you have to be pretty brutal. But hey, let detective bashers offer you some comfort. These are the people out there that are trying to give people facts. They're shoving the facts in their face. Sure, we're not really shoving the facts in their face. We're just sitting back observing the Kool-Aid be poured. But there's people out there that are offering to give facts. These people are not listening, and that's why they're the food source, and that's why we're going to get our profits from them. I mean, at the end of the day, it's not like they've gotten no warning. They just aren't listening. And, at some point, you got to say, look, personal responsibility, that's on you. I mean, where that point is, that's certainly up for debate. But at some point, it's all about personal responsibility. And if people don't want to listen, then, that's on them. So this is one reason why I like detective bashers. I'm not going to lie and say I lose sleep over it. But sometimes I think, man, sometimes these people are running around. It's truly like stealing candy from a baby. But they haven't been warned on some of these stocks where you see people lose all sorts of money. You kind of feel bad, but then you go back and read things and you're like, oh, yeah, they had all sorts of warning. Look at all these detective bashers around. They not only were warned, they were provided with, facts and links and all that stuff, and they still were just blinded by the Kool-Aid. I've hinted on this stuff, but I just want to reiterate it, devote a slide to it. With everything being said, we must monitor the Kool-Aid gauge very closely whenever these types of bashers show up. Bitter and no-life bashers, they're pretty harmless. However, detective bashers, really can't be taken lightly. And I like this, quote over here. There is a difference between fear and respect, but we can't mix the two, or we can't mistake the two. Do we need to fear them? No, we don't need to fear them. But do we need to respect them? Absolutely. So, if you're drawing the collusion, or if you're right now, you're thinking detective bashers show up, therefore Kool-Aid is diluted, therefore it must get out. No. Should we monitor it? Yes, but just because a detective basher shows up, it does not automatically mean that it's dilution time for the Kool-Aid. Sure, a few little drops of water might drop in it, but and we'll look at some case studies in the next video where you're going to see, yeah, that's okay. Just because, they're there doesn't mean that it can't stop the overall belief, the overall Kool-Aid flow that may be going on. Now, as far as examples for detective bashers go, I'm just going to reference you to this board. The reason I'm not worried about, some posters I'm blotting out, but, detective bashers, I respect them. They're good at what they do. They should be listened to, and I'm sure they're going to have no problem they're probably going to take pride that they're calling most people just call them bashers, and they work for the shorters, blah, blah, blah. I'm sure they would be honored that I'm at least calling them detective bashers and giving them credit because they're good at research. So I'm not worried about, creating drama. They'd probably appreciate having people check them out and know, what to look for. So, instead of always, these people are frauds, they make stuff up, maybe so. but all I know is that they always have well-constructed arguments with lots of substance. So, if you're familiar with iHub and you go to this board and you see some of the names and you're thinking, what do you believe them? Oh, they work for the shorts. They do this, they do that. They lie all the time, blah, blah. Who cares? Maybe they do. I personally don't think that they do, but I could be wrong. I think that, I just think they like to do research. Call me stupid. Doesn't really matter though. Remember, key point, this is not the first time you've heard this. Who cares about their motivation? Who cares if they're making stuff up or not? Who cares if it is true? If it's affecting belief or not affecting belief, that's all we care about. What is the Kool-Aid gauge doing? Where is that needle at? That's all we care about. So motivation, all that, you may think I'm an idiot for actually thinking these people, aren't working for the shorts or, aren't a bunch of scumbags it doesn't matter. I don't think so. I could be wrong, but motivation, my opinion, all the behind the scenes stuff here, doesn't matter. What is the Kool-Aid gauge going? So I'd encourage you to go to this board. I'm going to just show you real quick how to get there because, you can find all the examples you want at this board. So here you can see that I searched on Google DD Support Board and Fraud Research Team. If you do that, that should be the first result that pops up. So here you go, and you can just go through. Let's see, do they have... So here is the intro to their board. Important links. I mean, these are great links. New people, they should be all about these links. Most people don't. I mean, so those links as an example, great stuff. They're talking about stock dilution, pump and dumps. Just talking about other stuff. So, I mean, it's all informative stuff. I mean, this is, that's, let's see, from January 2010 until today, there have been a total of 1,116 SEC suspensions. And all of these stocks were reinstated on the gray sheets after the 10-day suspension. So right there, that's point being there, you don't want your stock to get suspended. But all sorts of stuff, and then you can come down here and just read through a post. I mean, now not every single one of these people is going to be a detective basher, but a lot of these people here, they provide lots of stuff. That's out of curiosity. So I mean, so look at this post. They, who knows what's going on here? Stockfreak.com info. So there's the disclaimer talking about, I don't know what's going on here. I'm totally guessing, but I mean, look at all these links. This thing goes to some sort of, I don't know, let's click on it. Okay, so here's some document. I have no idea what it is. Something for Florida. I don't know, but you see this sort of research. You don't see bitter bashers and the tough guy bashers running around stuff. They're not gonna dig up this sort of stuff. What it is, who cares? If it's true, if it's not true, I don't really care. All I care about is it affecting the Kool-Aid dilution. What is this? So here's something else. I don't know. They're probably connecting the dots on something. I don't know. I don't really care. Point being, do you see this post? I mean, do you see how there's lots of links for things? They're connecting the dots. Let's just what's this? So another fraudulent CEO, blah, blah, blah. They're copying and pasting from links. Here is so this is just, I mean, this goes back to high school. If you're going to copy and paste stuff, cite your resource or cite your source. Down here, they got all this stuff from an SEC filing. I'm not going to read about it, but, here it is. They're making a claim. They're copying and pasting from a source, then SEC filing. And that's just a good example of a post. Let's just go to the next page here. Whoops. Let's see. So they're talking about this. They just losing 1.2 million pre-tax on only surprise, surprise. So this company loses 1.2 million on only 0.177 million in revenue. Remember back to our basic, way back in the fundamental one, we were talking about just the key numbers, revenue. Revenue is only half the story. So their expenses were 1.2 million. So they spent 1.2 million to make 0.177 million. Yeah, that's not sounding too good. And then of course here they have, let's see, what is this? Oh, look, another PDF document. So here's stuff that they're citing. We're not going to go through this document as it's multiple pages, but here's everything right here that they're referring to. Yeah, Medbox. So again, making a statement. Now, if it was just this statement here, yeah, that might sound professional, but it'd be one of these things where, all right, you're making a pretty big claim that they spent 1.2 million to only make 0.177. That's kind of, where's your proof of that? And then boom, boom, 2 links. What is this? Looks like maybe the same thing. Anyways, you get the point. Don't want to harp too much on it. But this is what detective bashers are all about. They provide, substance. They're giving you proof. And if you want to debate with them, just bring your A game. And then finally some miscellaneous stuff. But before I get to this, some of the most epic, dramatic, a lot of people pay, for HBO to watch boxing or UFC fighting or whatever. If you want to see some heavyweight battles go down, there are some epic debates. If you like Law TV, like where you see lawyers on TV, if you want to see some good debates, some of the hypnotizing bashers not hypnotizing bashers, the hypnotizing pumpers, when they go up against the detective bashers, those are slugfests. Because remember, the good hypnotizing pumpers, they're very good at twisting things. The DD or the detective bashers, they're very good at saying, I know what you're doing, you're twisting things. So they just go at it, and there can be some epic battles of that. It's all over the place. When it happens in every single, high-profile stock, any penny stock that gets popular, eventually it's going to attract the detective bashers, and then you have the hypnotizing pumpers, and that's, God bless their souls. That's why we love them, because they stick up, they're going to fight, they don't want the Kool-Aid diluted, so they're going to fight tooth and nail to keep the Kool-Aid from getting diluted, and it just creates some truly, pay-per-view type, throwdowns. So if you ever want a good debate, just dig through some of the message boards, and you'll come across plenty of them. Now back to this slide here. Just this pertains exactly to the previous video. Yes, in this example, all I talked about was message boards, but it's all emotion, it's all psychology, so it translates to chat rooms, social media, the blogs. It goes across all those venues. Again, take note at how many examples I had of each classification type. This is very, very important, and it's very, very easy to find the examples of the first two. The good news for us is there's not many detective bashers out there. The ones that are out there are pretty darn good, but there's not that many. And, that's pretty much why I just referenced you to that board, because, I searched and searched, and I was like, okay, I'm pretty much just finding the same people over and over again. So, yeah, there's lots of bashers in the form of the bidder bashers, which makes total sense because a lot of people lose money in the penny stocks. And instead of blaming themselves, they're going to, blame other people. So, yeah, bidder bashers, you're always going to have those. And then the tough guy bashers, the no-life people, the internet is a place they tend to hang out. And if they, stumble across this stock message board thing, it's a place where you can find them. So, the no-life and the bidder, always going to find them. Totally easy for me to find those examples, but detective bashers, not that many of them out there, so that is good news for us. And this is also, yet again, another key reason why you should be running around asking for advice from strangers. Now, wait a second, why would this be bad? These people who are being honest and telling the truth these are the people that are, you might think, why is this bad? These are the people that are actually telling the truth and being honest about the companies. They're calling them a piece of trash. So why would that be bad to ask for some random advice from a stranger? Because you could be asking somebody and they'll say, no, you need to stay away from it. And then boom, the thing skyrockets and you're like, wait, you said this thing was a pile of trash. Well, it is a pile of trash, but if you don't understand the belief and the Kool-Aid, then, that's not good. So now granted, yes, I'd rather have you be totally blind and take advice from a basher because they're going to keep you from buying. But, at the same token, especially now, you understand, could you imagine if somebody's like, hey, is this a good stock? And a basher shows up, no, this is a piece of garbage. And then, boom, it explodes. They're going to be like, okay, I should have bought. And it's just, not necessarily an ideal situation. So, again, sure, you'd rather have somebody listen to a basher if they're totally, running around asking for advice. But, at the same time, it's one of these things where it's just good that you're watching this course. You understand it all. You understand that it's trash for cash. Who cares if they're pieces of garbage? They can still run, and that's what we want to find and see. And just in closing, I'm totally reiterating myself. We have the penny stock equation up there. If you're here to make money, which I'm assuming you are, just because there's bashing, it doesn't mean you can't still make money. I'll leave it at that. I've said it plenty. And I've said this last bullet point plenty, but I certainly want to end on it. We need to respect them, not fear them, and we just need to watch that Kool-Aid gauge. And as long as there's not any sort of extreme Kool-Aid dilution going on, then we are fine. So that is Bashers'. They're fun to laugh at times. Other times they really need to be respected. But as long as there's financial markets, there's always going to be somebody bashing, whether it's somebody on Fox Business News or CNBC or Bloomberg. There's always going to be people out there that think things are going down. There's always going to be people out there that think things going up. That is a stock market, and it's just a matter of making sense of it. And in the world of penny stocks, the only thing that matters is that belief and is the Kool-Aid.
Well, I hope you enjoyed, and if you did, please do a couple things for me. Hit that like button and leave a comment below, even if you just say thanks. Also, go to claytrader.com/team, and if you want to join my private community that's got all sorts of added benefits, you can learn more at that link, then please join. I'd love to have you. It's very cost effective, and like I said, if you want to surround yourself with other quality, like-minded people such as yourself, then I hope you give it some consideration. But again, if you enjoyed the video, hit that like button and leave a comment down below.